to the Ottoman era, risked their lives to brave the harsh, deadly still waters of the sea. It was also here, generations later, in the spring of 1947, as Palestine teetered on the verge of a new war, that three young Bedouin boys, their ancestors having wandered the region as nomads for time immemorial, stopped at the ancient watering hole of Rash Feshka to rest their animals. The story goes that one of the boys wandered off from the main group. Bored, he began throwing rocks into some nearby caves. When he heard the loud crash of pottery breaking, he stopped in his tracks. Clearly, one of his projectiles had made contact with some sort of an item inside the cave. A single thought entered his mind: treasure.
Psalms of Ascents. The Bible translation that I am reading from is the Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition. I'm using the Great Adventure Bible from Ascension. If you want to download your own Bible into your reading plan so you can see where we're coming, see where we've been, see where we are, you can go to ascensionpress.com/Bible in a year. If you want to subscribe in this podcast app, please do that to receive daily episodes. Those daily episodes come out pretty much every day. This is why we call them daily episodes, and it is incredible to be able to listen to the Bible in these 365 days. As I said, it's day 84, reading Joshua 10 and 11 and Psalm 128. Let's get started. The book of Joshua, chapter 10.
Over 30-hour manhunt. Authorities say they've got the man who shot and killed political activist Charlie Kirk on the campus of Utah Valley University. Because as the frantic search was ramping up, there has been a lot of chatter and misinformation and theories surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. We're taking some time to discuss some of these theories that have been spreading quite quickly online and in the media, as well as brand new information on the suspect. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Federal and state authorities in Utah say they have arrested the gunman, the man who allegedly took the life of political activist and media personality Charlie Kirk, identifying him during a news conference this morning as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who actually, by the way, lived hours away from Utah Valley University. But authorities say he is the man. They say he is the one who brought a bolt-action rifle to the top of a campus building.
Authorities say gunmen rammed a vehicle through the front of the church during a large service, began shooting and intentionally set a fire that grew into a large blaze. Officers exchanged fire with gunmen and killed him, according to police. Investigators have identified the man as Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old from the nearby city of Burton. The FBI is now leading the investigation into a deadly shooting and suspected arson at a Michigan church. Bureau is investigating the incident as an act of targeted violence, according to Reuben Coleman. Rob, if you want to play the clip.
This is from inside the church as the shooting took place yesterday.
We're not going to see anybody getting shot.
No.
Are you sure, Rob?
This is what was going on in the church?
Older one.
This is the older Rob,
I think this is an older video.
I think that's
Rob.
last week,
Okay.
which is still bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
don't think that's the same video.
Then this is the police chief yesterday talking about
supplies may reach the army and the control of military expenditure. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison. In this wise: 1. Which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? 2. Which of the 2 generals has most ability? 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? 5. Which army is stronger? 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? 7. In which army is there the greater constancy, both in
the last lifetime that they're spending in this realm.
The knowing and the need of knowing comes from the ego.
You could dedicate every waking second to practice.
Yeah.
You still may not make it to enlightenment.
Yes. And this moment you could get enlightenment, that spark of understanding enters into your brain. And when you fall into the lap of God, I think that's one of the most comfortable things to happen to any human being.
So nice being in your presence. At the start of this podcast, I was almost about to cry. This is the living dream for me.
don't want to make this intro too long. All I'll say is that there's certain guests I meet at very, very few points throughout the year where you know that there's a much larger purpose behind that meeting than just recording a podcast episode. A lot has changed in my life since this spectacular conversation with Ma Gyan Suvira. She's one of the most
She's been easy to deal with, which is good for us, and not freaking out at all. I like that. I like someone who can hold their own. That's why I kind of want to let her go. Then let her go. The decision isn't mine, now is it? Sama tells Miriam that he can't just let his kidnappee go without the big boss upstairs giving him the go-ahead. But Sama can try to convince the big boss that Miriam's daughter isn't worth killing for a price. $2,000. For $2,000, he's going to make it happen. He's going to convince his boss, let the girl go. We don't need to kill her. Miriam looks down and smiles because she has to play along. But she knows her daughter Karen has been kidnapped by one of the most dangerous cartels in all of Mexico. Nobody gets taken by that cartel and gets out alive. Deep, deep down in her heart, Miriam knows the guys sitting in front of her, the cartel members, they killed her daughter. And deep, deep
bit of basic information on it, how it was excavated in 1891, or at least partially excavated then. It was found, it was on farmland. It is a wall made of sandstone, and this wall was about 1,000 feet long. There were symbols inscribed on the sandstone. There's a New York City professor named A.L. Rawson who came in and studied the site in the 1890s, in particular in 1891, and then until he died in 1902. And Rawson, after making illustrations of the wall, the portions that they could see, and he looked at the writings.